This photograph was taken more than 40 years ago, a teenage boy wearing a Sunbeam Tiger t-shirt. He'd never even sat in one. But after seeing the car at a classic car show in Southend, something happened. The car got under his skin. After 25 years, he never forgot it. Most classic cars are bought. This one was chased for a quarter of a century. At first glance, it looks like a Sunbeam Alpine, neat, stylish, and very British. But underneath, someone had a completely different idea. In the early 1960s, Rootes wanted to sell more cars in America. There was just one problem. Their Sunbeam Alpine wasn't exactly terrifying the competition. So somebody came up with an outrageous solution. What if you took a lightweight British sports car and stuffed a Ford V8 under the bonnet? The prototype was developed with help from Carroll Shelby. Yes, the same Carroll Shelby behind the Cobra. It was fast, loud, slightly ridiculous, but absolutely brilliant. The funny thing is, our owner's story started with a Tiger long before he ever owned one.
First time I saw a Sunbeam Tiger, I was about 13, 14, and my brother had an Alpine at the time. And we went to what was then a custom car show at Southend Airport, and we went in and I shouted out to him, "Oh look, there's Alpines over there." And he said, "No, they're Sunbeam Tigers," but they look exactly the same. And he said, "Oh, they got an American V8 engine in them." And I was sort of smitten by it at that point, because I already loved an Alpine. I thought, wow, something with an even bigger engine in it. From that point, I quite sort of secretly fancied having one.
And then something extraordinary happened while clearing his mother's house. He found this, a photograph of himself, aged about 13, wearing a Sunbeam Tiger t-shirt. Most people talk about the car they always wanted. Very few of us have photographic evidence. In 2005, the dream finally became a reality.
It was down in the New Forest, and that's quite a distance for me. And I said to the guy, "Oh, can I come and look at it tonight?" Because I was super keen and excited to go and look at a Tiger. And he said, "Well, I'm going out this evening." I said, "Oh, I can be there in an hour." Knowing that an hour wasn't really feasible, but I thought I'd try anyway. And I had to get my wife and my 2 kids to hurry up and get ready. And we jumped in the car, shot down there. It did take us longer than an hour.
Like many Tigers, this one left Britain almost immediately. 35 years passed in America. Pennsylvania, California, New Mexico, and much of that story has disappeared. But clues remain. A California number plate, a rear wing he simply couldn't throw away, fragments of life lived thousands of miles from home.
There's a little bit of paperwork came with it, and it had the name of one of the owners. So at 3 a.m. one morning, I rang him, explained who I was, that I'd bought his old car. We had a good chat about it, and he told me that he'd done 130 miles an hour in it once, and it was the best car he'd ever owned.
The problem was the dream needed rebuilding. Engine work, bodywork, interior, paint, bills, more bills, even more bills.
Thankfully, I was quite naive as to how much it was going to cost, because if I'd known, I probably wouldn't have bought it.
At this point, people would have cut their losses.
And the costs really did start racking up, and it was more than, say, I was hoping to spend. In the end, I didn't really have the money to pay for it all. So we ended up putting some money on an interest-free credit card.
Right.
And paying it off over 2 or 3 years, just because I had to get the car finished. Once I got it home, every time I went out in it for about 3 years, something would go wrong. And I'd get home and say to my wife, "Oh, such has gone wrong on it."
But after years of breakdowns and expense, even his wife suggested perhaps it was time to let the Tiger go.
And I said, "Oh, let's just give it 1 more year, and if it's not fixed and everything's sorted by then perhaps we'll get rid of it." And I thought, "Oh God, please don't let that happen." And thankfully, in that 3rd year, it was all up and running and reliable.
Fantastic. Yeah. The car must have heard you and thought, I'm going if I don't sort myself out.
Exactly, yeah.
Then came the moment every classic car owner dreads. The paint started bubbling, the bodywork was a mess.
I just thought, I can't have it looking like that. And it was After I'd had it 13 years, I eventually persuaded my wife it was a good idea she should go in somewhere to have some work done. And I went to the paint shop, they said it needs bare metal in because whatever's going on is under the paint. I said, yeah, that's fine. I said, it's all really good underneath. It's all been done years ago when I first had it done, so it's all really good. Anyway, after a few days, they'd completely stripped it of paint, and they rang me and said, do you want to come down and have a look at it? It's not as good as you thought it was. And I went down there, and it was pretty horrific. And there was a little bit of rot along the bottom of the wing. And they said the only thing we can do really is put another wing on it. So you can't get hold of those very easily. So that had to be a wing from a donor car. And that was particularly expensive for a second-hand part. So literally everything they took off had rot behind it.
There was rot, filler, poor repairs, problems hidden for years. So where was the good news?
It was supposed to be a 5-week, £5,000 paint job. Eventually I pulled the car painted, so I was being messed about a little bit, and I brought it home and finished all the trim and bumpers and interior, soft top.
This time he rebuilt it himself, taking the time to detail every part, because it wasn't just a car anymore, it was part of his life.
So I got a better job out of it.
Yeah.
But it didn't cost £5,000.
No. I think my favourite part of this story isn't the V8, or the fact it's rare, or even the fact there's only a few hundred Tigers left on the roads. It's this picture.
They were selling t-shirts on the stand, and my brother bought me one. And recently I was clearing out my mum's house. I found a photo of me wearing that t-shirt when I was about 13, 14.
Inside every classic car owner is the kid who fell in love with the car in the first place.
A number of times over the years I thought, oh, should I put like a stereo in there, put it in the glove box out of the way? I don't know where I'd put the speakers. And I just keep talking myself out of it because I just love the sound of the exhaust. So that's on my soundtrack really.
More than 20 years after buying it, it's still here. The V8 still rumbles, the exhaust still makes him smile, and every drive feels special. Of course, none of this would have happened without one person, his wife. Don't forget to like and to share, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode of Classic Car Stories. But don't park the car just yet. Make sure you drive straight into the next episode, all about the Hillman Hunter that was lost in the hedge, because every classic has a story to tell.